How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Gen V review here at Big Gold Belt Media. Follow us at biggoldbeltmedia.com. Episode 7, Gen V, with me, Damon G. Cam, and Gotham Geek Girl, aka Nadia. Holy shit! The episode where everybody dies. So I'm just gonna start it off here. People just died. Like, this took a left turn at Albuquerque. All right, to borrow a phrase from Bugs Bunny. So we found out who the benefactor was for Marie. We found out what Jay Shetty, wrong person, what Dean Shetty's motivations were to make her the William Stryker, like we talked about last review. And then we realized why Cate was so sedated. And that came to light as to how and why she needs to be sedated to keep her powers in check. And then, there was a random college party of supes that turned into a protest that turned into apparently us versus them. So I'm going to start there and the overall arc of the episode. So Nadia, we'll start with you. What were your takeaways from this episode? Because a lot happened in a short amount of time.
I think it cleared up a lot of our questions about who's the main antagonist, what's going to happen next, how it connects to what's the bigger picture. And I called it, I was like, the Dean definitely has her own personal issues with this. And then they revealed that it was her daughter and husband that were killed by Homelander. So I think that's part of why she has this, like, so much hate for supes and why she wants to take them out. So I think this episode was pretty good. Definitely excited to see like what's going to happen next, because we were just saying like the finale is actually going to be next week. Yep. So it's a lot going to happen.
Yeah, they packed a lot in. So Cam, what are your thoughts on this? Because wow.
Yeah, first off, shout out to Nadia for calling it, man. That that was a play-by-play call right there. It's like watching the NFL, and she knew exactly what was going to happen. And then even like we even called it with the connection to Vought. Like you started seeing all these people just starting to pop up that we know from the Boys series. And they're slowly connecting the pieces. I thought it was a really cool episode. Definitely a lot of people taking L's, but it seemed like the episode where they're tying off the loose ends at this point and trying to, I guess, configure which way that this next finale for the season is actually going to go. I would say we saw a couple lines drawn between the group of friends, and now it's like there's a lot of people in the middle, so you're trying to figure out like, all right, who's gonna go to which side, and are they gonna like band together again, or are they gonna end up turning on each other at this point? So excited to see, honestly.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point that I didn't think about until you mentioned it. It's an impending civil war between the group, and they were already fractured, starting to fracture, maybe going back to episode 4 or 5 about trust and who can you trust and betrayal. And it seems as if now we see a line being drawn with Cate and Sam, versus everybody else almost, in a supes versus, everyone else besides supes, every normal person. We saw it with Dean Shetty getting hers at the end of this episode, but we also saw it with Dr. Cordoza, which, we all were just like, oh, he gonna die eventually. Yeah. And this was the episode where he got. That's what happens when you trust people who backstab everybody else. There was a character from the Boys that showed up, Neuman, that you both like told me in the chat, like, hey, she's important. If she shows up, shit's about to hit the fan. So if either one of you want to shed some light on who this character is for those who may not know, and how integral she is to the Boys connecting to this universe.
I was gonna say that she's actually based off Victor Neuman in the comics. They kind of like switched, like not just gender swapped, but they also kind of changed her character a lot. And in this, she kind of plays like a really important role, and she's a major like antagonist in the Boys. And it was later revealed that she is a supe herself, and she's the head popper. And then in this, we kind of see how she she plays the role like she's the councilwoman, and then she kind of like she kind of acts like she cares, but you can tell she always has like her ulterior motive, just like everyone else had Vought. And then Damien, I don't know if you know, but that she's the adoptive daughter of I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, you're talking about not Giancarlo Esposito's character.
Yeah, she's his adoptive daughter.
Got it.
And
I
so that
keep
was
forgetting
revealed
his
in The
name
Boys.
too. I don't know why.
I know. I was gonna say Gus Fringe.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god.
Yeah, so she's revealed to be his adoptive daughter, and it's revealed that she's the head popper. So going further, we saw how she manipulated the doctor. She's like, "Oh, we're gonna get you in witness protection," and then he sees the card and it's blank, and then he's like, "Oh my god!" Like boop, and then he's next. And then I'm also wondering if this is gonna connect to why. Remember, we were questioning why is Marie so important. So I'm wondering how she's gonna use Marie going forward as well.
Yeah, I mean, it. Like you said, it does connect back to the whole entire thing over the backstory of what we know in The Boys, as far as like with Stan Edgar, the Senator Neuman. Even we got to see appearance of Lieutenant Colonel Grace Mallory, right, who we know is connected to Billy Butcher, as well as Huey and that whole entire team that was trying to keep the Supes in check. So I'm actually wondering, like, are we going to see more of them towards the end of this last episode? I think that'd be cool. I mean, they've literally cameoed almost everyone at this point. So I mean, it's like, all we missing is what, Homelander just to pull up on us, and Maeve with one eye at this point, as far as we know. So as far as I know, that seems like the ongoing story right now, because we just finally kind of figured out where it really picks up at, and it's, I guess, after the events of Homelander shredding that guy to pieces in front of the whole entire crowd, and the crowd being divided as far as like, all right, hey, you rock, Homelander, you killed that guy, and other people are like, hey bro, you just killed that guy. Like what is going on? It's two different sides. So I'm honestly just really excited to see where the story goes after this at this point.
And that's the thing, now that it's been, Gen V's been approved for season 2, and all the media outlets have been reporting that it's basically each show's going to hand off to the other one. So is this part of that enmeshment that they're talking about, where, hey, we're going to start bringing in people from The Boys at the last 2 episodes to facilitate said handoff? I wouldn't be surprised if episode 8 we see everybody and their mama, especially now with Polarity damn near dying in a ambulance.
I forgot about that. I don't know how I forgot about that. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's like Magneto having a seizure and everything going nuts. I only have one thing. I don't know if you guys noticed. I was like, I don't know if I blanked out for a second, but I was confused how I forgot the name of the talk show, but the news channel, wasn't he the same guy with Neuman?
He was like under Neuman at one time, right? Before? Oh, you're talking about the talk show when
literally
he was
with
first,
Polarity.
Like, I don't know how they fixed the set so fast.
Yeah, that's what I was confused with that
for
time.
Her to come
I was like, I'm not the only one. Okay.
No. Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, the only thing I could have fathomed is that they did a recording of the show, like a live studio audience.
Right.
They cut that part, and then like an hour later they bring in the senator, or at least she was supposed to be on the show already. So they just moved her up, like, oh, next guest. Like nothing to see here.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, did I miss something?
Yeah. So like if you're watching, let's say Jimmy Kimmel or something, like they'll have the first guest and then they move over, everybody moves down one notch on the couch. So I'm thinking maybe that was what it was, or just if they filmed it live, they just cut out the part where Polarity damn near dies on the couch. But I thought that ambulance driver was going to catch it, with the spasm happening, and then, everything just going to shit inside that, ambulance. And then just, man, I feel like everybody just made their choices, like, hey, this is my line in the sand. Sam made his, and which after attending that rally, I think because he's so impressionable, because even though he's like, let's say 20 something years old, he's more like 5.
Yep, I was gonna say he's very childlike. It's a party, I want to hang out.
They were doing like the slip and slide out in the middle of the hallway, and he's like scared to saying, because he was supposed to stay behind the door, and all of a sudden he's just like, I'm just gonna go do stuff. And immediately when they did that Instagram live in the hallway, I'm like, oh no, like I said, what is it? The Woods are going to find him. Like, they're going to be like SWAT all over the campus. And then it winds up Sam's at the talk show, and it just leads to superhero division. Like you were saying, Cam, the whole like, oh, good for you, Homelander, for killing that dude, versus like, dude, like, no, we're not abusing our powers. So I think the overall arching theme for me, and I could be completely wrong, is one, yes, tying up loose ends, but B, it's the Civil War. And I'm really curious as to how this is going to shape up in the last episode of the season. Like, are we leaving this on a cliffhanger? Are we going to bridge this into the boys? Are people from Gen V going to get drafted to the main show, as it were? Anything that really comes to mind about these two kind of like point of views? If someone has a different objective, let me know.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's also like how the boys takes a lot of like reference from like say the X-Men, and you kind of have like the opposing views like Magneto, and it's kind of like supes are superior, we have to stick up for ourselves, and then there's the other that's like, no, we can try to live together, and then there's the like, no, that can't happen. So there's like a lot of, I guess, like conflicting views. So we kind of see that at the end, where Sam and Cate are like justice after Dean Shetty dies. And then the rest of them are like, no, like we need to save her. Like this isn't right. And Sam and Cate are like, fuck this. Like, I kind of think she might be going towards a more of like a Magneto type of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like ideology, like kind of like supes are superior and we no longer have to listen to humans. So that might be kind of part of what's going to happen. More of a war part.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely makes more sense, honestly, when you bring that point to light, because I feel like Cate and Sam at this point are just fed up. They're tired of being abused by people that really don't have powers or any type of power that's even close to what they have, you know? So I feel like you said, they drew a line in the sand, and Cate was very, very adamant about not going back on it. She was like, she's been lied to so many times. She'd been locked in a room for what, like 9 years of her life. And then this one person she thought she could trust completely took advantage of her. But to see her like take her out was like, dang, like I thought she was gonna be like, okay, all right, you know, Marie, you go ahead and save her. I know I was there, and I was like, oh, this is the boys, you know, this is that series. Why am I thinking somebody gonna survive at this point? But I feel like she got kind of what was coming to her. Like, without question. But it was like, you know, just putting that girl through all the things she's been through, and then expecting her to believe this final lie. And Cate played it very, very well too at that point, because she was like,
I believe you.
You're right. And I was like, at first I was like, you stupid. I was like, you dumb. I was like, you dumb. You stupid. You can't. She's lying. Like, you can't tell. This is your power. And it's not working. I was like, ain't no way. But come to find out, she was just playing the game, and toast after that though. Crazy.
And for what we're trying to say here is that Cate basically causes Dean Shay to slice her own throat. And then she makes Marie not save her as she's bleeding out,
which is even worse.
Marie
had to relive all this.
And
I was gonna say, Shetty also revealed that Godolkin's like a front, like it's not even like a real school. It's just to study them.
It's basically, and I said this, I think maybe our first review of 1 through 3 was, this is like the New Mutants movie where they have this underground bunker to do these tests on these kids, and that's all it's good for. And that's what the ratings are for, is to kind of do this. You know, it's like, oh, who's the next person we're gonna, you know, experiment on. And we see that at the beginning of the episode, to kind of go all the way back, where they're still working on the plague, you know, and straight up looked like a scene out of Resident Evil, where that one person comes sliding out, hacking up along with like boils and everything on their face to infect others, you know, other supes. And that's the way Dean Shetty wanted to go. And then, like you said, we understood why she wanted to go there. But then, you know, Doc was all like, nah, I can't do that. Like, this is not what I signed up for. So much so he peed in a bottle, and I laughed out here. He peed in like an alcohol bottle, talking about drink a swig of that. And I'm in my house watching, and I scream out, what the fuck?
What did he say? He was like, fuck this hose.
yeah, literally, that was exactly it.
He was like, fuck this shit. I'm like, okay, like that's the route we're gonna take. And then all the way at the end, you see both of them die, like horrible deaths.
Right.
You know, getting your head blown through specifically, and then getting your throat slit. Yeah, you deserve to go out the way you went, like
by yourself.
You played yourself.
Good God.
You know, and wow, like if like someone like me again who didn't watch The Boys, who went into this kind of like, oh shit, kind of sheepishly, and now I'm like, yep, this is exactly what I expect from this show now. So expect the unexpected. This episode really just punched people in the throat, especially if you were unsuspecting like I was. And the one thing we haven't addressed is Andre basically was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stay with my dad, when he had all this antagonistic, animosity toward his dad the whole season. But then when his dad is having this, that spaz in the ambulance and in the hospital, he puts his phone down when Cate texts him being like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna spend time with my father. So he's the only one of the group that doesn't know what went down in Dean Shetty's house. So I want to see how this affects him, because he was all about trying to like bring Shetty and them to justice. But is this the justice he was going to go for? And he's the one with the Magneto powers. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to go, and how he's going to react to Cate not being a little, like pretty much saying like, yo, I'm gonna kill these people because they're taking advantage of us. So does anyone have any bets on who's going to die in episode 8? Any theories?
Honestly, it could be anybody. There's a couple characters where I feel like they won't. I feel like Marie might be safe. That's me playing it safe. I would say she's the main character. She was like on, the first thumbnail and template. And plus she's been mentioned in the Boys series alone. So I figured, they want to entail her story a little further. I feel like Jordan might take a L. I don't know why, but I feel like Jordan might take an L because Jordan is little like just acting a little funny. Like
they're the most selfish
they
person
don't really
on
know.
the team.
Yeah, and
I was gonna say though, Jordan stuck out a lot this episode because they changed up their whole, I guess, like dynamic. Like typically they follow the rules, they go by the book, they do everything how they're supposed to. This episode they were like, no, fuck that. Like I'm gonna start a fight, you do your thing. Like I think Jordan's taking more risk, so I don't know.
Hopefully not the wrong risk, and then
that could be too.
Like that.
Well, that's why I think Jordan might be the one that goes, because like you said, Nadia, the whole season they've been straight laced and like do the right thing for themselves. It's all about self-preservation. So now I could see for Marie making the sacrifice because they love Marie or whatever or what have you. They make the sacrifice and not be self-serving. So if I had to put money, I think my top 2 people that are dying is Jordan, maybe Cate.
I thought you were gonna say Emma. I thought she was gonna be like,
actually, you know what? No,
I
got them confused. No, it's Emma.
Because I was like, she
might try to save Sam.
And then he'd be like,
and he kills her by accident.
Puppet, toast. And I'm like, oh man.
And we discovered Sam's aware because he realizes I did kill them as a puppet. So he knows what he's doing when he puts them in puppet view to kind of lighten the blow for him, but he knows what he's doing. So he's already seen Emma as a puppet. So Sorry.
Did y'all notice that he went to that party / protest with Rufus? I was like,
was that Rufus?
That was Rufus.
Oh shit!
So I was like, uh-oh. I said Rufus probably got something going on. He's upset about losing his parts, so he's gonna be like, I
think Rufus brought him because he knows who Sam is, so he probably wants to get him riled up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and since Marie was the one that blew off Rufus's, that's Emma's roommate, so 1 + 1 = potato. So I could definitely see. Yeah, I don't like Rufus, and now that you're reminding me of him, I hope he gets his. Just for me, just like kill Rufus once and for all. Like, go ahead, bro. So beside people dying, where do you think we're gonna go for the last episode? Like, what do you envision? Since you both are like very well versed in the Boys, what do you see happening in this last episode coming up?
Bringing in, oh my god, I keep blanking out. What's her name again?
Mallory.
Mallory, yeah, bringing in Mallory.
Same page.
I feel like, sorry, Damien, you're gonna get spoilers, but I feel like bringing in Mallory, there's gonna be some kind of connection, like you said, to Huey, because there's a point where Huey and Butcher take a sample to get powers, to kind of fight against them. And I kind of feel like that was pretty important. So I kind of think maybe going forward with this, they might also be having another internal battle of what's right versus wrong. Because Homelander has like so much anger in him that he could get to the point where he's like, fuck it, give me that thing. I'll kill all these supes. I don't care if I kill myself as long as I killed all these motherfuckers. Like Butcher has like a thought process like that.
No, he does. Yeah, he does. Very revengeful. Even though like the other supes might have not done anything to him, he don't give a shit, honestly, at this point. He's just like, they don't deserve this power. I want to take them out. But I have the very same thought process as you, Nadia. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, getting Nadia, not Nadia involved. Sorry. Getting Mallory involved. I was like, well, Nadia's going to take them all out. That's it.
Victoria, her real name is Nadia.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's crazy. There you go. That connects.
Before you found out her real identity, she was Nadia.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I feel like within the puppet string still, what's his name? Stan Edgar is back there somewhere. And I don't know if we're going to get like a little ending cameo or something from him, but seeing Giancarlo Esposito at the end, it would be like, okay, there's a devious plan going on for season 2 and it's going to get wild. But I definitely think, like Nadia said, that Mallory was on the phone with somebody. I don't know whether it was Huey or whether it was Butcher, but they're coming. They're coming to figure the shit out. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this next finale episode goes, though. It's going to be good.
Same here. I'm looking forward to seeing what episode 8 brings us. And again, as someone who came in blind to this series, I'm hooked for more. So thank you both for getting me involved with wanting to see this stuff now. I don't look at it like this anymore, like through my eyes. Like I'm just braving it up. But yes, that episode 7, season 1 of Gen V, Amazon Prime Video. Holy shit, guys. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode. What'd you think of the deaths? What'd you think of the 180 turns by certain characters? Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for Big Gold Belt Media, biggoldbeltmedia.com. Nadia, where can people find you?
GothamGeekGirl.com. Check out my YouTube channel and Instagram. I'm posting a lot of my New York Comic Con interviews and content.
Cam?
You can catch me at Cam's Collection on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
And you can find me at Damon G Show across the board in the Retro Cartoon Rewatch, where I take cartoons from the 70s to the 2000s. I watch them back in real time, and I let you know whether or not they suck. And we'll catch you for episode 8, season 1 of Gen V. Can't wait, and get your bets ready.